stuck this thing down. Oh, wow, look at all that honey. Dickie, this is, all of this across here is honey that they're, of course it's their honey, they're storing it for themselves. Yeah. These frames here, or these cells here, look like they were once drone cells because they're really, really big. And there's a drone right there, a big old boy. This was a frame that had nothing in it when we started. Wow. So they filled it up pretty good. Leave one of them out so you can kind of have room in here. Lots of honey in here too, goodness gracious. Come on, girls. More capped honey, just tons of honey.
So what are you looking for, Joe?
Just, I want to find brood, make sure that it's Queensland. See that yellow stuff in there?
Yeah.
That's pollen. They'll bring the pollen in and set it in these cells, and that's what they make bee bread out of, is that. So now see, here's some brood. Well, I want to see if I can see some eggs. Now there's larvae. If you look down inside those open cells, they're right in here. You can see white things, like grubs. Those are the larvae that have hatched from the eggs. Here's a drone right here. These boys have no stinger.
Oh, wow.
But you can really see how much honey they've got in there. They got plenty of honey.
Remember to slow down.
So once we find that there's plenty of brood in here, then we'll probably just shut it down. Oh yeah. See all of the, so they have honey across the top, so honey's close to the brood as it's hatching. And so they'll lay these and they'll hatch. Like there's a cleaning a couple of them out right now, so those bees have just recently come out. In fact, they may have been the bees that come out of there. And more pollen in the bottom there on the yellow and orange, so you don't really know what it is that brought those. And I think I see a couple of eggs. It's hard to see them, they're so tiny there. But I definitely see larvae again, so we know that you're seeing more brood. As this is a frame that came with the nuke, so as more and more brood hatches out, this turns darker and darker and darker. It was originally white, but it just turns dark over the period. So I don't know how old these frames were when we got the bees. Yeah. But they just keep even, I don't know how many sets of brood. You have to calculate how many how many brood were hatched since we've had them, but oh, darn it. Okay, now this was a frame that a couple weeks ago, originally it was all brood, and then a couple weeks ago when we looked at it, they ran out of room to put nectar, so they were putting nectar in here, and I was really worried that we lost her. But I can see, if you look back down in there, you can see the white larvae again, as well as plenty of pollen and bee bread. So that's looking good. And same thing over here. So they're starting to relay in this again, which is good. So you see them going in there and cleaning out the cell. That's usually one of the first things that the bee will do when she hatches, is she'll go in there and clean where she just hatched from. Once while you got to kind of smoke them to calm them down a little bit. Big old drone right there. So we know they're still in plenty good shape as far as honey goes, or resources go, because if not, those drones wouldn't be around. They'd get rid of them. More brood. So it looks like we'll look at there's some older right in here. You can see how big the larvae are. Really big. So they're getting close to pupating and then turning into then capping the brood. They'll pupate and then spin a cocoon around themselves, and then they'll cap it. Look at this one more, and then we'll be done. I'd like to see her again, but not the most important thing. Since we saw where she was, because those young larvae that we saw first, they've only been in there less than a week, so we know she was in there less than a week. Got all the pollen in there, and really good brood pattern right there as well. See all the pollen up here. See it, babe, right there. All the pollen. And really, honestly, I hadn't been looking for the queen. This is about where we saw her last time. I don't see her, but that's okay because we know she's in there. So now you scoot them together, so that way, because if you don't scoot them together, they'll do some weird stuff with comb. I mean, if you don't give them more than that 3/8 of an inch bee space, they put comb in it. The next thing is going to be the interesting one. That's where we're going to lift this whole thing off and put the slatted rack on it. This is when they crawl up your leg, is because you're standing where they're coming off. This will be interesting. Oh God, my baby. Come on, darling, move.
Smush, smush, son.
Sorry. Look and see what they're doing up here. And there's not, yeah, there's got some nectar in there. They're starting to cap it, so. There's a lot over here too. Oh yeah. See that? It's all capped honey right there. All the bees all over the ground here.
Yeah. I was looking at that.
Come on. Come on. All right. Interesting to see what happens here.